After whining about how the left smears the right by besmirching reputations and tossing out a bunch of big words like gutter snipe and glitzocracy, we thought we'd devote part of this week to letting you get to know your top 5 Billow and Bernie Goldberg left-wing smear merchants, the ones whose reputations they besmirched last week. Our number one story, Janine Garofalo, the 5th most powerful liberal in the media. That one of Mr. Goldberg's last lists inspired a madman in Tennessee to shoot up a church full of innocent people because he could not shoot the people on Mr. Goldberg's list, did not give Mr. Goldberg pause for thought. Nothing seems to. Thus playing Igor or Igor to O'Reilly, his 5 worst offenders in the mainstream media are as follows. Number 5, Ms. Garofalo. Number 4, Bill Moyers. Number 3, DailyKos.com. Number 2, the evil New York Times. And number 1, the totally irrelevant MSNBC. The 2 rocket scientists were briefly not unanimous about that 5th slot.
Okay, but she has absolutely no influence at all. She failed at Air America.
She's representative of the bigger group of the Hollywood
That's
elite.
a good point. When you put them all together, the cacophony of nonsense. I love that. The cacophony of nonsense.
And if anybody knows their cacophony and their nonsense, it's him. Joining us now, comedian, actress, political activist, and fellow left-wing smear merchant, Janine Garofalo. Good evening and congratulations.
Thank you, Keith. And as you know, the machine likes to operate in a much more clandestine manner, but now that we've been exposed, I might as well discuss it. As you know, we meet alternate Wednesdays inside the eye and the pyramid on the dollar bill, and we rent the space from the Knights Templar, contingent upon how clean we are after the meetings. But you know all this. I'm just sharing it with the wider populace. I'm a little uncomfortable now that it's been exposed, though, because we've been going for years.
I know.
The machine, it takes a lot of work, and I'm a little bit sorry that I'm just number 5. I would have really liked to have been number 2 or even number 1, but maybe next year.
You also notice that we do, in fact, send out a dress similarly memo every day so that there's some sort of...
Well, we have the pink on, I know, but I love Casual Fridays the best. And as you know, on the next Wednesday meeting, it's 50s Day.
That's right.
Last time was Backwards Jeans Day, and that was a lot of fun. But now we're going to do 50s Day, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Sadly, having been born in 1959, I just show up as I'm normally dressed because I am every day is 50s Day for me. But I was wondering aloud last week if you were a wizard of some sort or had magical powers and just hadn't informed us about this at the meeting, the fact that Goldberg named you as one of the leaders of the smear machine, do you in fact have these powers, or you know, how rationalize or explain your position in this list?
I do have magic powers. Again, I would prefer to keep them secret, much like the vampires. As you know, the Vampire Rights Amendment Act was passed in the Deep South recently. There's a documentary about it called True Blood on HBO. And they like to operate secretly. I myself like to keep my powers under wraps, if you don't mind.
Well, you're using one of them to annoy Bernard Goldberg, which would seem to be sort of like, that's just sort of practice, right?
Yeah, Bernie Gold. I like to call him Goldie.
Goldie.
Yeah. And he is absolutely right. And I want to emphasize again, the machine has been going and going. We used to be an advertising agency in the early 70s called Saatchi & Saatchi. And we're responsible for That's One Spicy Meatball. Do you remember that one?
Excellent.
I can't believe I ate the whole thing. That was us. And the feather in our cap is the No Fat Chicks bumper sticker, which we really got a lot of mileage out of that one. That's the machine.
All details about the machine aside, Billow noted to Bernie, this is the greatest assignment you could ever get. Yeah. Payback unlimited. It's payback for what? Because the last time there was payback and Goldberg involved in it and making lists of people wound up dead. I mean, there is a dark side to stuff like this.
Yes, there is. Going back to, if we're going to get serious about this, and I guess we're forced to when other kind of very damaged people really respond to some of the right-wingers' message. And the reason they accuse the left of having a machine is because they themselves do. There really is a right-wing smear machine in place, whether it's all the regressive radio hosts and even some of the right-wing churches and then right-wing candidates. And as you know, during the Bush administration, they used to invite some of the radio hosts to actually meet with candidates. And Grover Norquist has those meetings where the talking points are created and handed out to all and sundry in the right-wing machine. And unfortunately, they do have a base that listens to this, and because their life isn't working, They want to blame all the wrong people. And the right wing has a way of always having an enemy, whether it be immigrants or Arabs or brown-skinned people, black-skinned people, homosexuals, women. They all kind of rally around an enemy, an other, that they can get mad at. And death does occur. I mean, and this has happened in abortion clinics. It's happened, as you said, just recently, and unfortunately it may happen again. But the guys like Bernie Goldberg, they don't care. You know, it means nothing to them. And Dick Cheney going on was it Meet the Press on Sunday?
No, it was CNN with John King.
John King. What does he care? You know what I mean? What does it matter? He just keeps spreading fear. You know, claiming that we're less safe because of something Obama does, and claiming that the government wants to expand, all these kind of things. Unfortunately, a lot of people in the right-wing base are not the most intellectual people in the world, not the most savvy people in the world, and they are definitely quick to anger and quick to blame other people. And it's just, it's a ridiculous thing. And, you know, I don't even know what to say about it other than it's a very sad, sad thing, and it's part of the human nature of a personality type that tends to identify as Republican or conservative. And it's an unfortunate part of our society. It's a scourge on our society.
It is indeed. Janine Garofalo, political activist, currently appearing in 24, and the 5th-ranked liberal in media. At least you get a plaque. Thank you, my friend.